Hi everybody. I started too soon. This is me, Leslie. I'm over at Quality of Life Chiropractic in Montgomery, sporting the derby hat yet again. I am here. The reason why I just want to cover up my roots and stuff. It's just kind of like that. But I want to share with you. Yesterday I was here. I talked to you a little bit about posture. Why good posture is very important for your spinal health. The consequences of having a poor posture, and I also told you that I would share some tips today for you to improve your overall posture. And it's real simple. So I'm just going to go through a few tips on how to improve your posture while you're sitting, while you're standing, and of course while you're lying down, because we all know that as we're working from home or staying at home or doing whatever activities, we're probably doing a lot of sitting, and shoulders tend to get sore, cranked. I get a crick in my neck or something if I'm sitting wrong. So maybe this will help just a little bit. Okay, so first of all, when you're doing your sitting, at your house, on your computer, at work, on your computer, wherever you are, when you're sitting, we tend to do things like hunch forward and crunch up our shoulders, or maybe sit back real sloppy-like. But what you really should be doing is very active sitting, alert sitting, almost like sitting at attention. You want to keep your feet on the floor or on a footrest. Short people love you, but you might need a footrest to keep your feet flat. I get it. I'm a tall person, so I definitely have to scooch back towards the end of the chair for my legs to fit, for my feet to fit properly. You really shouldn't be crossing your legs or ankles. I know that a lot of people do. I ain't going to hate you for it, but for your posture purposes, your feet should actually be flat on the floor. And you want to keep a small gap between the back of your knees and the front of your seat. So for most of us, that's not usually a problem. Once again, if you're a little vertically challenged, it might be a little more difficult. Just do the best you can, of course. You want your knees to be at or below the hips. So that's why I don't like those little sloppy lawn chairs that fold up, because for me, once again, this is for me, a tall person, I tend to be practically sitting on the floor with my knees up in the air. So I tend to buy myself a taller lawn chair. I like fancy lawn chairs anyway. But that's the best example I can think of at the moment. You want to adjust the backrest of your chair to support your low and mid back, or use a back support, which I see quite a bit of that in the office. You want to relax your shoulders and keep your forearms parallel to the ground. Once again, none of this stuff. You really don't want to slop out like this. Just straight up and down is really the best. And it'll take practice. Avoid sitting in the same position for a long period of time. So that's a given. Take a break. The thing is that we've been sitting wrong for a long time, and it takes a long time to relearn the best way to sit. So at first it's kind of tiring, but after you do it for a while, it just becomes second nature. So now let's talk about standing. Many of us have those desks that you can raise up to where you can stand while you're working. That's great, but if not, that's okay. While you're sitting properly, take your break. And now for standing, you always want to bear your weight primarily on the balls of your feet. You keep your knees slightly bent, so just like when I was in the military, don't lock out your knees. It's almost like standing at attention when you're military, but maybe not quite as stiff. You're going to keep your feet about shoulder width apart, and let your arms hang naturally down the sides of the body. So don't stand like this or whatsoever. You really should just stand straight up and down with your arms dangling at your side. Once again, if you've been standing wrong for a long period of time, I have the tendency to put my hands on my hips like so, which is kind of bossy body language, to be honest. But it really does take practice, and you actually get kind of tired when you're trying to correct your posture, but it's worth it if you keep doing it, being mindful of it, because it'll make you look better, slimmer, and younger, and all those things are always important. You definitely stand straight tall with your shoulders pulled backwards. Once again, many people tend to slump forward. We don't think about it, but what happens is you slump forward as a habit. Your muscles learn that position. Your spine learns that position. You're doing this natural slumping. So when you start to go correct your posture and stand properly, it's almost like it's almost like exercise. You can kind of get tired because your muscles are not used to standing that way. So, when you're a kid, a lot of the girls, their mom would have them walk with the book on their head. Well, that's actually not bad advice. But again, stand tall, stand proud, keep your arms at your side. Don't take bossy body language. Again, it's always an advantage to look younger, but even better, it takes a lot of pressure off your musculoskeletal system and helps keep your spine straight so that you're not causing degenerative issues or other pain issues and so forth. Always, so if you're like me, I was in the military 20 years and I did a lot of ceremonies. I was honor guard. So I would move my heels back and forth. This is something we learned there. We'd have to stand long periods of time. I've done ceremonies where you're standing there for an hour at attention. And one of the tricks we would do would be shifting our weight from our toes to our heels. And that's actually the recommended thing to do when you're standing for prolonged periods of time. Not necessarily rocking back and forth, but you're just shifting your weight to give yourself a break here and there. Okay, finally, sleeping. This is one where a lot of people tend to mess up because we always fall into those comfortable habits when sleeping. So this one definitely takes a little bit of practice. I grew up sleeping face down with my face squashed into the pillow, and I did that until I was probably, 16, 18 years old. And it was a habit. And of course, I have arthritis in my neck from all that wear and tear. But the proper way to sleep is not on your face. That is definitely bad for your neck. I'm living proof. Fortunately, I get chiropractic care to manage that. But when you're sleeping, there is a proper way to sleep. I like to say Cleopatra style. That's not really the proper word for it. But when you sleep, you want to sleep flat on your back you basically want the back of your head on the mattress as much as you can and the cervical support under your neck. So many Sleep Numbers, some of the fancy mattress places, they make a lot of really nice neck support, cervical support type pillows. I know in our clinic we call them core pillows, and it's a firm pillow with almost a hole in the middle so that no matter where you turn, you've got cushion under your neck, but it keeps your head and neck in the right position. So ideally, it should be pretty straight up and down. But also, you put a pillow under your knees. So while you're laying flat on your back, you should put a pillow up under your knees. They have those round pillows, those long cylindrical looking pillows. Those are great. But if not, just a standard pillow. And then if you happen to turn over to your side, like I do a lot of fetal sleeping, so you simply, your cervical support remains on your neck. If you're using those good pillows, you just turn over to the side, and then you're going to take that pillow and you stick it between your knees. So what that does, of course, is your head stays in the proper position, your spine's lined up properly, your neck's getting the support it needs. But with the pillow, either under the knees when you're sleeping on the back or between the knees when you're on the side, it helps take some of the pressure off your lower back. And then, of course, it's very important that you have the right type of mattress. Some people prefer a softer mattress. Some people prefer a more firm mattress. Many people use the mechanical mattresses. I know some great people over at Sleep Number in the Woodlands that can hook you up with some stuff like that. But mattresses can tend to be a bit of a personal thing. I know your chiropractor can definitely make some recommendations for you. But that's all I have today. Like I said, correcting your posture is actually something that seems small and silly, but it's actually very, very important for your spinal health, for your supporting musculoskeletal, your muscles, postural muscles, if you will. And it also, like I said, is going to help you feel better, look younger, and look skinnier, which everybody wants to do that. But again, it takes a little bit of practice, but if you are mindful about it and you practice it, it'll be much better. In the meantime, I'm going to be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. because you might be asking yourself, okay, well, posture, whoop-de-doo, mine's always good. Well, if you want to find out for sure, I have a little device that I can and I can do this remotely, I can do a posture analysis on you. It's very quick, easy, and it's free, of course. There's no charge to do this, but I can show you how your spine lines up according to how it should line up, and it'll even tell you some of the things that kind of match up with some of the symptoms if you're having like neck pain or back pain, how it can, the misalignments can kind of reveal how it could be affecting those things. So it's neat and fun, and you're happy to join me. I don't care if you're local or not. This is something I just do for you. All right, so I'll be back at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for coming, and I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you, any comments or feedback. I am a newbie or neophyte at these live videos, but I'm doing them. All right, thank y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.